Welcome to another episode of NOLAforever.com, and today we're at St. Louis Cathedral, or more specifically Jackson Square. And St. Louis Cathedral is right there, and this is basically a little park, and it's actually the most famous place I think in all of New Orleans. It's very iconic. When people think about New Orleans, they think about the St. Louis Cathedral, and they think about Jackson Square. And as you can see, there's not that many people here right now because it's later in the evening, but it's absolutely beautiful to be out here, and I love the view. And the reason why they call it Jackson Square is because in the middle there's actually a statue of Andrew Jackson. And for all those who don't know, Andrew Jackson was actually the sixth president of the United States. And more importantly, what he meant to New Orleans, I think during the battle against the British, like it was in 1812, he had fought alongside the infamous Highway Defeat to defeat the British. And so that's why they call this Jackson Square. There's a statue right there. And St. Louis Cathedral itself, there's actually composed of two other buildings right next to it. It's called the Cabildo. It was actually built by the Spanish, hence the name Cabildo, right there, Louisiana State Museum Cabildo. But here's Jackson Square. It's actually, if I remember correctly, it's actually one of the oldest churches in the whole United States, and it's the oldest actively running Catholic church in the whole United States. And so as you see in front of the cathedral, during the daytime there's usually more activity, especially on the weekend. There'll be music playing, people, palm readers, people performing, I guess, various entertainment tricks. And let's get a little closer to the cathedral. And it just looks absolutely amazing. Let's get that shot right there. Wow. And this part of the cathedral is the actual square, and this is where, as I was saying, there's performers. Usually there's artwork on the side of the rails right here. So if you come during the daytime, there'll be a lot more artists that are down here. And here's the Louisiana State Museum. And previously there was actually a little exhibit for Katrina. I'm not sure if it's still there. We have some music playing here. And then on the other side of the square, there's actually artists on the other side. Let's see if they're still there. But most of them have probably already left home. A lot of activity here. There's a lot going on. Here's the museum. And if I remember correctly, these are the part of the Fontainebleau estates owned by the French market. And this here is Stanley's. That's a very famous place for breakfast, brunch. And on this side, normally there's artists who have their artwork, and they fill this whole side, especially on the weekends. And there's actually one more place here that is very famous as well. Portion of the St. Louis Cathedral. This is the back of the St. Louis Cathedral. That is very famous. That's actually Jesus, a statue. So at night it looks like there's a halo or something behind him. It just looks really, really cool. And this portion right here, this is actually between St. Louis Cathedral. And if I remember correctly, I think this might be a Pirate's Alley. And as you can see, it's actually an alley. And I couldn't remember specifically why it's called that. Maybe it's because of pirate feet. But as you walk down here, this goes straight into Royal Street. And there's artwork down here on the right. You see some artists down here as well. But there's also some restaurants and a bar right here. There you go. There it is. Pirates Alley Cafe. Fittingly. It's a perfect name for this place. There it is. A lot of restaurants. Well, a few restaurants and bars down here, and also some businesses. It's just really cool. It's just secluded in here. You could miss it otherwise if you don't pay attention. But that is it for this episode of NOLAforever.com. It was the St. Louis Cathedral. We'll see you on the very next episode.